నువ్వు వ్యాప తిరిగి మాట్లాడతాయి వెనకాల సైడ్ నుండి నువ్వు అటు కెమెరా ఫేస్ చేసి మాట్లాడతావు కెమెరా ఫేస్ చేసి మాట్లాడతాయి
A very good afternoon to our principal sir, faculty members, and my dear friends present here. Now, we have gathered here for an online workshop on process of innovation development, technology and readiness level, and commercialization of lab technology and tech transfer by Dr. Rupa Farshi, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemical Engineering, Innovation Ambassador. Dr. Rupa Farshi has completed her BE Chemical Engineering from Rural Engineering College, Hulakoti, MTech Department of Chemical Engineering with specialization in Industrial Pollution Control from NITK Surathkal, PhD in Department of Chemical Engineering DSCE from BTU Recognized Research Center. Dr. Rupa Farshi has worked as a lecturer in the Department of Chemical Engineering in Rural Engineering College, Hulakoti, and SDMCET, Dharwad. And she worked as assistant professor in Department of Chemical Engineering in RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. Currently, she is working as assistant professor in the Department of Chemical Engineering in Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Bangalore. Dr. Rupa Farshi has authored 6 publications in reputed national and international journals and has guided more than 16 under project teams and many more. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I'm Dr. Ramesh, principal of Viper. It's indeed a pleasure to have you with us, and I think I wish to share a little about our institution and our society.
Sure.
We have Pharmacy College, and these are students of first year, second year, and I think similarly we have some of the people who are from chemical engineering background from our sister concerned college at BVRAT Narsapur. I mean,
Okay.
which is just opposite to us. And you'll be surprised to know that in Telangana, there are hardly only 2 colleges offering chemical engineering. One is Osmania University and other one is our institution. And apart from this, we also have an pharmaceutical engineering course, which is in our engineering college, which is quite opposite to our campus. So that also has 50% of chemical engineering subjects and 50% of pharmacy related subjects. I think this is the only private institution which has pharmaceutical engineering BTech degree apart
Uh,
from BPharm. So I mean, we'll be very happy to associate with you and looking forward to take the information from you. And I think once we settle down, we'll be very happy to interact with you with our chemical engineering students also. We'll be sharing you a brochure which is also planned for February 16th and 17th. So we look forward for your inputs in that also, ma'am. So with this, over to you. And I request that these all are young students, budding students, and just give them a bird's eye view of yeah, knowledge instead of going in depth of the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Indeed, thank you so much. It is a pleasure also, sir, to meet you and have this discussion. And thank you so much for that a brief introduction of your college also. Hope I am audible to everyone. Yes, sir. This program is being held for 1 hour, so I made it very short and crisp and giving you all superficial or bird view about this particular topic which is shared to us. So, in continuation with the presentation, I might go off from the camera, sir, so that our connectivity will be proper and I will be dealing with the presentation. So, if any questions are there, I might not be able to see it, so please let me know, sir, in between. So shall I start, sir?
Better you if it is okay with camera, because so that students doesn't get distracted. If it is okay with the bandwidth and everything, or else
No,
you can turn it off.
I
Yeah.
might keep it, but problem is if we on the video, bandwidth might have a
Yeah,
fluctuations.
yeah, and
So
I
at the
understood
end,
that.
I'll come back to the video mode again when
Sure,
we
sure.
have a question and answer session.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
So I'll start with the presentation, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope you all can see the slides, slide, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you so much for this opportunity given, and I'm here to talk on process innovation, development, technology readiness level, commercialization of lab technologies and tech transfer. Before moving into this particular topic, I would like to give little brief about what is this particular program is all about, why we are gathered here, and what is the outcome of this particular exercises we are going through. So if we have seen in the invitation as well as in my slide, this particular a logo which signifies one particular council which is established by Ministry of Human Resource and Development, and it is an initiative to support and promote the innovation and entrepreneurial mindset among the higher education institute as well as the primary and high school education institute as different sectors. And this establishment is basically to support the Make in India concept, which is enacted recently in our India, to support the indigenous technologies to become up and commercialized. In this context, IIC stands for Innovation Institute Innovation Council, has many functions which usually to conduct various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities prescribed by central MIC. MIC stands for Ministry of Innovation Council in a time bound fashion. Every year they are going to release the calendar of event in which series of activities are arranged in segment wise such a way that a student who has a mindset of working on any ideation can be groomed and given a knowledge, thorough knowledge about that particular process throughout the year, and that activities and workshops and mentoring sessions and even financial support is also given for the idea to convert it into a ready to marketable products. So it is also having this identification and rewarding of innovations and share of success stories by innovators and founders. It also has a periodic workshops, seminars, interactions with entrepreneurs, investors, professionals to support and promote students in a way to start up with ideation as well as the entrepreneurial journey. It also gives network with the peer and national entrepreneurship development organizations through these kind of interactions, how we are met on this platform. And it also creates an institution innovation portal to highlight innovative products carried out by the respective institutions, faculty and students. In a way, it will also give them notification, identification as well as the achievement and recognition for their work and contribution in that context. And it also organizes hackathon, idea competition, mini challenges, etc., with the involvement of industries, so that whatever innovation or invention happening in the institutional level can be marketed into the industry, and that collaboration can be bridged. Certain activities I have listed here which is done by IIC. IIC annually conducts a Smart India Hackathon in which all ideas are called from across the India, and there is no age limit for this particular competition. All higher education institute can participate in this, in which the top ideas and workable ideas can be screened, and if potential is found, that can be groomed further to the next level. Some of the other hackathons are like Singapore India hackathon, where the idea exchange between India and Singapore. Some of the ideas sent to the Singapore, and Singapore's ideas are brought here, and that kind of collaborative competitions are happening. Samadhan is also kind of competition organized by IIC, and drug discovery hackathon is for the medical field, where the new innovation and invention happens, and the participants are have a national level recognition for this particular segment. And it also upgrades the startup policies to support and promote the ideas and innovativeness in campuses and in education institute. So now there are two different policies are coming, which are fine tuned based on the requirement and reliability with respect to the education policies, and the programs to promote and support, because once we are talking about we are moving ahead for innovation and entrepreneur, faculties as well as students need to be groomed in that segment and given expertise in that field. For that, they conduct a series of leadership talks where eminent personalities will come and share their experiences, and innovation ambassador training program can be happen, and this innovation ambassador training can be done for both the student innovation ambassador as well as faculty innovation ambassador. And you can see me as one of the example of this trained innovation ambassador out of this program. And Yukti 2.0 is one of the segment where the it is called as National Innovation Repository. They have started calling it as NIR recently, where potential innovative ideas as well as potential technologies can be uploaded in this portal, and regularly these ideas are monitored and evaluated, and based on that evaluation it is pushed to the next level in this segment. There will be a mentoring process also collaborated with this National Innovation Repository, and it is also connected with the investors, where the potential ideas can get the funding, required funding for converting that technology into a workable model as well as the prototype making. And these programs are also conducted, some of the activities conducted, which will give every education institutions innovation ranking. Based on the activities, they are going to earn the points, and those points will lead the innovation ranking. 5-star ranking will be there for this particular case, and these activities are also considered for the Atal innovation institute innovation ranking also, so that we call it as ARIA in short. So these activities what we are conducting under this IICs are directly taken from the portal of IIC, which we are uploading based on our activities, and it is counted for that particular ARIA ranking also. And if you are an innovator, or you want to become an entrepreneur in specific and a unique idea of yours, then to protect that one, they have IP Literacy Week called Kapila Initiative is also one of the program in which you will be trained on IPR segments, where the thorough information will be given. Some glimpse of these activities I have shown here in this slide, and the program that National IP Literacy Week, in which faculty as well as students can participate and get the certification of becoming IP expert, which will give you online training of the weeks. You have to follow those videos and pass through the assessments. And once you are successfully completing those assessments, you will be awarded with a certification of IP expertise. And recently, based on this 75th uh, Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, they started one more IP related training program called NIPAM. That is also trains student as well as faculty on the IP related informations where you can also get a certification on that. Based on that, you can file a patent or you can guide a people who are approaching you for the information. Apart from that, this is the new introductory program they have introduced in the IIC, that is mentor mentee program for IIC institutions, where they are going to groom the faculties and make them a mentor for supporting their peers for successful completion of or working on ideas and entrepreneurial themes. And some of the themes in which a student as well as faculty can train themselves and become an innovation ambassador are the entrepreneurship development program, pre-incubation and incubation management program, IPR and technology transfer, that is another specialization you can have for innovation ambassador training, and design thinking and innovations. These innovation ambassador trainings are done in two modules nowadays, that is fundamental level as well as um, advanced level. And later on, as you are grooming in that particular segment of innovation ambassador, we have two more further training program to enhance our skill set. So what are the roles of this innovation ambassadors in IICs are they perform the role of mentor in their respective institution council, where any student come across with the idea or wanted to learn this journey of entrepreneur can help them. And also these innovation ambassadors provide support to other innovation councils as a resource person, like I'm doing right now to your organization, and also spread the message of innovation and startup among the student and faculty through organizing different activities in the campus. So moving on to now, I hope I have given you a little glimpse about what IIC does and why we are gathered here. We are gathered here to share our knowledge in the domain of, if we have any ideas, how we can convert that one into a innovation and a valuable product, and how that product can be marketed, or how we can evaluate it as a market ready. In that context, I'll start with the introduction. So this is a general definition of what is innovation. Usually innovation is nothing but improvisation of invention one done in a process of solving a problem. So if there is a problem, a scientist will do certain discoveries which will give a solution for that problem, and that problem indeed need to sustain in the market in a long run. And to sustain in the market, this invention need to be fine tuned, groomed, and a little flexible with respect to the needy. So we have in society two different types of a need. One is there should be a continuous growth in that particular product, so that over the period it is not acquire a monotony in that particular segment, or it need to be sustained in the market so that it ease the consumer. And innovation is nothing but adding a value to that invention based on the requirement of a people when it's spread across the world. So when we talk about the across the world, the need and the requirement changes, and based on that need and requirement, if our invention is modified and converted, that particular process we call it as innovation. And that innovation is always an improvement. The example you are looking on the screen is how the telephone which is introduced long back is have converted into a many version. Earlier it is a stationary one, has its own limitation to the user. Later it has modified and transformed into a different way. We had the particular dial tone, and then we had cordless. Then now we are having a magic box, which is our iPhone, which has intensified all the works. So this is what technology and innovation we are talking about, and how this transformation takes place. It need a thorough understanding of the process, and that process we are going to discuss here. How that innovation development is carried out. So simple process of starting any work will stand this 5 step, that is idea, R&D, technology, transformation, and product. but how this process is understood in a thorough manner, that this is called as a innovation development. So innovation development is basically stands on two different aspects. One is a new need in the society and the market, or it is a new need for a technology. It means there is one technology, but it is either having a limitation in application, or it is too tedious to adopt everywhere. So in that case, how it is transformed, how it is made easy for that particular field where it need to be applied, that we call it as state of art in the technology and production, where that complex is simplified and made use. It again based on the availability you can talk with respect to, or the expertise it has in that particular domain. So based on that, we have a two different segment where this innovation can deviate. So first you identify that new need, what need it is, whether it is a need of reduction in cost, or a need of adding a value to it which is not having with the original technology. Under either it is understanding way or it is implementing way. So that particular problem we consider it as a problem statement, and for that you have a solution. That for example, I have one particular process which can give me a solution, which is for example, I'll take my own research, that is waste plastic conversion into a oil, because here the problem statement is reduction of plastic, and I wanted a process to be introduced, and there is already one process there in the market, that is pyrolysis. But pyrolysis will not give me the exact solution. It has so many problems. Because of that, the once there is a mushroom industry started to convert waste into a valuable product, immediately shut down. And there I found an opportunity, that is the problem what is there in the process I identified, and then given a solution for that. So for that, what we have to do, we have to specifically mention the idea. That idea need to be thoroughly checked. That research design and development talks about that idea can be converted into first a proof of concept. It means idea can be anything. I am traveling to moon every day is can be an idea, but feasibility is a problem there. So to overcome that, what I have to do, it is not an impossible task, but it is having its own limitations. Right, so idea can be anything, but how it is feasible, that I have to take care of. So this idea has to go under R&D, where it talks about the viability, feasibility, and the simplicity in conversion or implementation I have to check on. And once I have done that, it has to move to the visible solution in terms of model or a prototype or one concept, where I can give a justification on that. So are you getting me, or are you following up? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, in between I'll ask this because I don't have that kind of visibility. So in between I'll ask, and I need a response also, if you don't mind to answer.
Okay, ma'am.
So moving on to this particular conversion, this we usually do it in our lab as a project every end of the year or end of the particular curriculum. What we do, we take one project which is a problem statement and a solution for that problem statement, and first we define the problem is problem actually or not. How we do it, we do certain literature survey, we gather information stating that yes, this is a problem, because of that these are the impact, cause and effect we defined through that qualitative and quantitative analysis of already done work, and based on that we defend our idea. Once that defense is done, we'll try to make a working model, and that we call it as a prototype production here. That prototype production is nothing but either an experimental setup in the lab or some fabrication work is needed for proving that idea of mine is the solution for the problem. Once it is done and I have proved it, how I'm going to prove it? I have to generate the data for that, and that generated data need to be validated by certain test and analysis. For example, you have synthesized one of the solution for one disease, and that particular formulation need to be validated by certain facts, like it cures this much particular affected area, infected area, and it has these many after effects. All those things you need to declare there, so that once it's done, you are ready for that particular proof of concept to be converted into a technology. That we are talking about. We synthesize and do it for different trial, different conditions. We do it because we need to prove it for different conditions, areas, as well as concentrations. If at all I'm working on a formulation, and that formulation need to be validated for different factors which are governing that production. And once it is done, I have to either get approval from that particular application area and compare with the standards. Once the requirement is meeting with the standards, then my idea is a working product ready to be commercialized. This is what is done in innovation development, and we do it in our labs. So the question comes next is how the commercialization of these lab technologies are done. So this commercialization of lab technologies indeed has certain steps to be followed, where we have to understand certain parameters, and that is what this topic is here. So for commercialization of this lab technologies, which we done as part of the project, part of the curriculum, and if you it has a genuinity and really you try to solve a problem, that discovery, that is called as a discovery or one kind of innovation, and that innovation need to be disclosed to that particular area where in which that problem is arising, and that disclosure is done with your basic formulation and also validation, what you have done with the testing labs or the value compared with the standards and all, and those again need to be compared in the real time after disclosure. When I say disclosure, what we have done till now is in a lab, that to isolated and ideal conditions. We have taken distilled water, we have taken the targeted problem, that is the targeted cancer cells we have taken, which are isolated from that, or we synthesize those particular uh, impactful content, and then we try to formulate it. But when it comes to application based, we need to go get into the market, get into the real patient. When we talk about the real body and the patient, you know there is going to be other parameters, other healthy cells, other unhealthy cells, other components which are coming into picture as a resistance. So in that real world, how your discovery will sustain, that evaluation need to be done there. So once you are almost getting the positive result that your idea is really a breakthrough, then that breakthrough need to be protected so that it should not be copied, because you are going to disclose it in front of expert people, either doctors or the specialist in those areas. And when you're doing those particular disclosure of your particular formulations and all, there might be a chances of your idea can be copied or duplicated. So you need to thoroughly understand how to protect that intellect of yours, how to protect your idea. And for that we have a series of IPRs, that is you have a patents, design patents, you have process patents, you have copyright, you have, so all those IPR, that is intellectual property right segment comes where you can uh, hold and control your idea of yours, and you can own that technology as yours. So that is very much essential before getting into the market, because when we are talking about market or a business sector, it is very, very tough competition and it is a rough world there. And no one is going to support. There are always a kind of manipulation, kind of duplication, kind of all kind of people you will get into. So you need to be very cautious when you are going for a commercialization. So protection through IPR is the foremost segment you have to do. This particular IPR protection you can do before the disclosure to the real world or after validating that. It depends on how best and unique your idea is, and based on that you take a call. And once that is done, if you see the percentile here, the patent filing and that patent file technologies which are proven unique never get into the market. The reason behind is the next step what we are going to have, that is marketing, licensing and delivery of a product. Once you have protected your idea or a technology and that need to be marketed, you need to do little market survey. Who are your customer, you identify. Once you identify the target customers, how that particular conversion of the technology, the production level, the quantity is done, you have to analyze and then go for processing. For example, once you've done the market analysis, you know that you can't produce that one by yourself based on your financial condition or the support team you have with you, that we call it as a human resource. If both are not there, what you can do is either you can licensing that technology and that licensed company will produce those particular products and then sell it into the market, that is a delivery of product. If not, you if you have a capability and also capacity of human resources, you only start manufacturing and selling it in the particular market. These are the simple steps for commercialization of lab technology. But where we are failing as a innovator or as an institution, where we are failing for transforming these ideas into a commercial product or the market reachable product. So there is a huge gap is there, which in particular innovation and entrepreneurial terminology called as death of valley, where you will find, see the investment graph also you talk about. Universities and governments are having a very limited resources for those technologies, funding and conversion of ideas into a working model based on certain understanding and revenue generation models and all. While in case of industry sector or a private sector, if you see the huge amount is there, but still there is a huge gap. This we talk it as private sector as usually the industries, the industry and institution, and your technology is stuck in between. The reason is that evaluation, what we do, the evaluation and transformation. If you remember the steps, 5 steps, we built up to technology, but we fail in that transformation. That transformation is what we have a lack in understanding, and that lack in understanding is again done by the 3 evaluation techniques, that is technology readiness level, we should know as a technologist or the inventor, and also we should aware about the commercial readiness level or investment readiness level of that idea, the feasibility, financial feasibility of that, and a societal readiness level of uh, the product. These are the particular evaluation techniques comes immediate after you protect your idea through IPR, because IPR once you're done, you own the technology, but what next? The question arises. So before getting into the market, you should go through these 3 analysis or these 3 evaluation, and these 3 evaluation will give you the maturity level of your technique or technology, whether it is viable for commercialization or not. And because the particular scale on which these readiness levels are checked almost falling in same categories, that is the technology, commercial and societal need. So I'm going to cover the technology readiness level and a glimpse of financial. We are talking about the feasibility, there only it comes. So those can be understood by understanding the technology readiness level. So I'm keeping our discussion on technology readiness level here. So what is technology readiness level? It is a classification scale used to measure the maturity of the technology. Like I have come out with the solution and have passed the proof of concept level also. But whether I can work on this particular idea to convert into a prototype, because as a chemical engineer, I know when I need to set up an experiment for any ideation, it need investment, a basic investment, because we need a reactor, we need a chemical which are expensive. And if we talk about pharmaceutical invention, there is also a little bit financial support is needed for just a experimental setup to prove for 1 liter capacity. I hope you agree with that. And to do that also, I need to check the readiness level of that so that I can invest on that and it will give me a fruitful technique at the end of experimentation. So this technology readiness level originally introduced by NASA for their space innovations, because you know the space shuttles and space innovations are having crores investment, and any innovative technology they introduce to launch their particular satellites, it has a heavy investment, and they come out with this technology readiness scale, which is a metric with 9 technology readiness level for describing the maturity of technology for from the idea stage to the application stage, that is the built model. So they started following up that, and later on even other you can say defense ministry also found that these readiness levels, technology readiness levels, are almost applying for their technological innovations also. Then it slowly started applicable in technology field. Earlier it was meant for only the space innovation, later it is transformed to any technology which is discovered in the technological field, and it has also declared by ISO standard in applicable for general tech. And what are those indications? So those indications are going to mark the risk involvement for a feasibility survey or a maturity one. So the technology readiness level 1 or 2 represent a situation of relatively high risk of failing or high risk of diluting your idea. Whether your idea is big, whether your idea is strong, whether actually that idea is a solution for the defined problem, that if we are properly defined, successful in defining and defending, then you are avoiding the risk of failure there. Once you have a proper research done through that yes, it is a breakthrough, so that later stage, once you completed everything and somebody come and claim that no, it is already discovered by me, then whatever you have done till date will washed. So that is the reason it divided in that particular categories: high risk, moderate risk, and low risk. Why that moderate risk and low risk? Because you have done thorough investigation, thorough research in the prior stage only. When it is in nascent stage, when it is in conceptual stage only, you have ruled out all the obstacles there, then only it stand as a strong product for commercialization. And once you started climbing the stairs, you know, and avoid the risk of failuring of that, because you have strong belief in that technology will work. You have a sufficient support system for that to prove, and that is through adopting these series of steps here. So step 1 is a basic principle observed for that particular solution you are offering. Then second step is talking about technology concept formulated. I means methodologies and materials you involved in that particular formulation or solution of your idea. And that particular stage only gives you a confidence that yes, I can work on this. And the TRL 3 talks about experimental proof of concept, that you start experimenting with a small scale. You take 1 gram of or 1 liter 500 ml, 100 ml of that particular capacity formulations and check that whether your idea work or not. That experimentation will give you confidence that yes, it will going to work. And those answers, whatever experimentation you have done, it need to be validated in the lab. How you do the validation? You compare that one with the standard. Usually if you have found out for one particular formulation a solution for any disease, there is already a particular medicine available there, so that you take it as a reference and compare. So that comparison will give you a validation in the lab, and that will say that you have through with the level 4. And once you through with that comparison with the standard, later you have to validate that technology in the real time situation. As I told you, when you do the experimentation in lab, you take a ideal condition, you isolate all the influencing factors and target only that particular problem statement and solve it. But TRL 5 will give you the validation, that is, you apply this formulation in real time. For example, wastewater treatment, if you are doing, first what you do, you take that particular dye on which you are working, and that is synthesized one, and you prove that it is reduced using your technology. But when you apply it for the industry, in industry wastewater, the dye is not the only pollutant, it has other pollutants also. So what happens to that? That will influence your formulation and your efficiency reduces. So that time what happens, again you need to rework on your idea and consider the factors also, in which condition it is going to be, like what pH, what concentration, what are the dilution factor you need to maintain for your idea to work on. All those things you need to work, and that will be given by the TRL 5. Once you overcome that and also prove that your technology withstand all these obstacles, then comes the technology demonstrated in relevant environment. You have to apply there and prove for continuous work, not one time, not for 1 liter. It has to be done for days and months, and still it is going to work with that particular pilot study. Then it is considered as that prototype demonstration is done for that, that is TRL 6 and 7 is coming under that, based on the idea you are working. Once it is thorough with that, then you need a third party validation here, like there will be a government which is governing all these policies and the industries, that emission standards and all, etc. So those will need to give a clarity, or you can say assurance, for this particular methodology, that yes, this particular idea will be passing through all the implementation process, and also it will not give any harmful after effects to the implementing agencies and all. So once that third party evaluation is done, that is not nothing but you have to take a no objection certification from certain agencies, the environmentalist, pollution control board, etc., etc. So that is done. Then uh, once it is done, you have uh, go for the TRL 9, which is actually the application part, actual system proven in operational environment. You have to run your experimental setup for months together, and check the monetary effects and what and all it gives you the result, whether efficiency dropped or maintained, whether all parameters are maintained in that regular system or not. Once it is done, then your technology is ready for marketing. And once it is proven there, then there is no looking back. Either you can start producing that particular technology, or you can sell it, depending on your interest. So this technology readiness level, if you remember in the previous 3 slide back, I have shown you the gap, and that how that gap can be bridged in our institutions level. So this particular collaboration with the industry, and that is how you can see many collaborative initiations taken place recent year. If I count from the past 5 to 6 years, our education institutions are transformed. Now we have more industry institute interactions, collaborative works are going on, and those collaborative works are yielding the different applications. Many things are coming. EV, you can see the electrical vehicles, you see. You have digital applications now. Every day there is a new invention in that. How this is possible? This is because of industry institute collaborative works and thorough understanding of these technology readiness level also. So in technology readiness level, if we are categorizing, the first three, T1 to T3, consider as knowledge development, T4 to T6 consider as technology development, and T7 to T9 consider as a business development. Hope this technology readiness level is understood now. Any doubt or question are there? I would like to take now.
Any questions from the audience?
Sir, am I going fast or is it fine?
It's fine, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then moving on to, once we understood this technology readiness level, the question arises in every student sitting there. If you wanted to innovate, or you wanted to become entrepreneur, or you wanted to start working on, you are ready for commercializing or you are ready for starting up your own, then no need to be have a dilemma, because I know everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, everyone cannot be a inventor and start their own company. They some people sitting over there have a creative mindset, and a majority people wanted to just finish their curriculum and get a job. But this understanding of technology readiness level or the concept will give you added value, because today's world is running behind all these terminologies. So next step, once I know and understood what is innovation, what is the readiness level, and I also started working on, but I don't want to continue and I don't want to become an entrepreneur. So shall I get into this ideation and innovation process, or just like I came here for this institution to get a degree and go work? No. If you have a creative mindset, don't kill it. We have another solution in that. Sorry, before going to that, this technology readiness level for you particularly, I have this. The technology readiness levels are being little slightly modified based on the area in which it applied, like science and engineering, a software field where the financial investment is comparatively less to the hardware segment. So this we call it as hardware segment and a software segment, and in between this one more segment comes as medical science. And the medical science TRL is slightly differ from what we talk about here, the prototype demonstration, the capability and lab scale validation. So you will be having a clinical trials here, because you are dealing with the lives, and it need to be a thorough validation and thorough processing. So among this table, I have just highlighted your application segment where this transformation is needed. So further details you can fetch it when you get into a depth of this. The superficial idea is you have a hardware segment technology readiness in a different way, and a software segment technology readiness in a different way. These are the major classification. And one step ahead, why the medical science or medical field is a bit different from technology, based on the trials involvement in that, because you need to prove it in a major steps. Step by step, you need to prove the authentication and validation of your formulation. So for that, you have these many variation in the process before it commercialize into the marketable product. So moving on to, as I'm mentioning, you have a creative mindset, but you don't want to start up. I don't want to get into the industry as a businessman. Then there is another way called technology transfer. You have a creative mindset, you want to solve the problem, but you don't want to become an entrepreneur. Solution is this technology transfer, where the hard effort you have done to formulate the solution will not go waste. You develop the solution for a problem, sell that problem solution to the industry people, because industry people in need of such reliable sources where they can earn money, because R&D main intention is to research, service, product development. They want to give a solution, but they don't want to take part into the production level, because our basic agenda is to educate and gain the knowledge. But industry people perspective is to adopt a new technologies so that they get a profit, and also economic development is there. So identify certain industry which are having an inclination towards your interest, and in that particular domain which you have found a solution, implement it, and ask them to buy the technology and interaction with them. So that kind of sharing your invention to the industry, we call it as a technology transfer. And this technology transfer is also have a certain procedure to follow, and that procedure is to give a benefit to the inventor, that how to get a benefit out of this technology transfer. Collaborative works majoritarily ends up that industry will take away your invention and you will get nothing. But there is one method called technology transfer in a proper channel where both can have a win-win situation. Either it is the inventor or the inventive department or R&D segment. So it is between the collaboration way how you do it. So simple steps are the technology transfer process usually have. It is either you can consider as an individual basis or as a R&D center of any institution. So this can be done with either case. We in our college also, we did one of the technology transfer also, and that student who invented that technology also get a benefit, because that student don't wanted to start up and he wanted to get into normal life and job, 9 to 5 job. So such cases are also there. So what is that particular procedure? So the simple procedure is, first you have a letter of intent. That intent is nothing but you have to identify industry who are interested in your solution or a technology you developed, and you have to have a communication between each other, that I have invented some solutions for the problem. If you are interested, we can have a discussion. So that kind of letter of intent you have to have between the inventor and the client. Then when you meet for this discussion, first and foremost job what you have to do is that non-disclosure agreement you have to sign it before getting into a detailed discussion. Because if your negotiation and agreement is not validated, you are not satisfied with their offering, you can always reject that industry for a profit. So to do that, before disclosing all your discoveries, first have this non-disclosure agreement, that whatever we are discussing in this room should not go out. If it goes out, I can file a case against you, because I have a patent for that, my technology. So this is what you can have, that non-disclosure agreement before getting into a negotiation. What negotiation you do under this particular discussion, that how you want to sell that or transfer that technology, one time settlement, or you want a equity share, or you want to have a proper share in the profit coming in between. So you have this kind of discussions and negotiations, you do it under that agreement. Once that settlement is done, like you want to sell it on at once for one lump sum amount, or you want to settle it for equity share, that any purchase of that particular discovery of yours, some percent will come to you every year basis or every pack basis, whatever the invention is, based on that you have that negotiation under this. Once every agreement is done, the next comes is DDR, due diligent report, that is background search of the client, the buyer who is come forward to take your technology. You need to have a thorough check on that background. And this particular technology transfer can be done through agencies which are there for this kind of activities. You can outsource it, or else in your institution only you will be having incubation center, and they will be doing and taking care of this particular technology transfer process. So they do this diligent background search of a client, and if nothing is there which will give you a problem in future, they'll sort it out and then come down to a next technology licensing agreement, where it is thoroughly written everything that what and all terms and conditions of there of both the parties, client as well as a developer, technology developer. You have to have that particular agreement. It is written in black and white based on certain government papers which will be validated. It is a court procedures. So that technology licensing agreement you are doing, and then the fairness opinion report is submitted. So the technology license agreement is subjected to the FOB. FOB here it talk in which deals is free on board or freight on board. Usually this particular free on board is a designation that is used to indicate when a liability and ownership of any that technology or goods transferred from seller to a buyer. So that particular object it is having. So that report is formed, and once it is done, then technology license agreement is done with the amendment. That is, government will give clean to go procedure. All formalities with the sealed format is done. Once it is done, it means you have agreed for the things, and also the government is also given that a statement that now there is a exchange between you two are happening, and that authentication is done based on the rules and regulations followed for that technology transfer. And after that, the technology is transferred to the client, and certain documents required for this technology transfer are here. This is the documents required from the company which is buying your technology, and this is from either a candidate or the startup who is selling that technology. So these the documents need to be provided. So I hope this cleared the topic, and now I come to end of my talk. Hope I have covered the title given to me, and if any questions are there, I am ready to take up.
Any questions? I hope all have understood, ma'am. With no.
There is only two ways. One, either they understood everything or nothing enter into their mind. Probably. See, I know understanding this at once is difficult, but if you try to focus first 15-20 minutes, then whatever we spent here, satisfied, because every segment, every slide, 5 minutes knowledge if you have gained might be a initiation to the next level. It's not like everything we understood in one go. There is a slow and steady procedures are there. At least you come to know why you are here. Agreed?
Yes.
At least shake your heads. I can understand you are. Thank you. I know, I understand in the initial stage, because I'm also running through this. I'm part of this particular council. I can get that. What is your problems? But start understanding why these exercises. You have to sit 1 hour here. They have to arrange these segments, these particular talks. So it has a value. Try to give that value addition to these kind of activities. Thank you, madam. I once again thank you for calling me for this talk. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank you for your presentation. And thank you everyone who had gathered here for the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you. Shall I leave, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.